Deep in the Kimberley are these spectacular gorges, the Chamberlain Gorge. 1.8 billion years old, its deep ochre sandstone cliffs are a great setting for romance and adventure, as we're about to discover. Last episode, our Kimberley Odyssey took us to the magnificent Mitchell Falls and its spectacular tiered waterfalls and waterholes. Now we're taking off for a 1-hour flight into the heart of the Kimberley. We're heading for one of Australia's biggest cattle properties. Welcome to El Questro and its glorious boab trees. A 1 million acre wilderness property that serves as both a resort for high flyers and as a working cattle property. 5,000 head of cattle are kept here, fattened and mustered in the yards by a team of hardened stockmen. As we're about to learn, breeding cattle in the Kimberley can be a risky business, with crocodiles one of the many hazards faced by both the cattle and the keepers.
Just got to watch what you're doing and watch your back all the time. A few blokes get rolled, you know, cows come at them or bulls come at them in the yard and they're not watching and they get rolled a few times, but that's part and parcel of what you do. Oh, you lose them, you know, you definitely lose them to crocs, but you wouldn't know the numbers. But, you know, you'll see carcasses on the bank that have been chewed by crocs, or young heifers getting around, or young weaners getting around with legs broken, torn to bits. Pretty quick, and you know, you haven't got much chance. Once they grab you, you're just about gone. I think not too many people get away from them.
Another reptile that makes the Kimberley home is the monitor lizard. They're harmless to humans and can be spotted as they search for insects on the edge of streams and waterholes throughout the region. One impressive waterhole on El Questro is Emma Gorge. No matter how dry the dry season is, water still flows out of the surrounding Coburn Ranges all year round. Given the temperatures are quite often well over 30 degrees Celsius, this is a wonderful place to swim and cool off. Swimming in the nearby Chamberlain Gorge, though, is not such a good idea. As the signs warn, saltwater crocodiles have been spotted here. The Chamberlain Gorge is impressive for many reasons. Deep ochre escarpments up to 60 metres tall line its banks. Those banks, in turn, are fringed by tropical vegetation. And towards the end of this 3-kilometre long waterhole, there's an excellent collection of Bradshaw paintings. As we're learning throughout this Kimberley trip, these distinctive style of ancient rock art paintings are still a mystery, thought to have been painted by people who lived long before the Aborigines some 60,000 years ago. It's in the Chamberlain Gorge we meet a couple who are on their own walkabout around Australia. David and Jacinta Sutton have found temporary work here at El Questro.
Oh, this place is spectacular. It's just the beautiful colours. We've taken a little stroll down the water. It's been fantastic. Seen some fish. Yeah, archerfish. Yeah, they spit at you. They're great. Assuming it's water.
Well, we're hoping it's water. So you go with a piece of bread and you hang it over the side of the boat and they actually knock the bread out of your hand. So they use that as a mechanism to knock the insects and butterflies off the sandstone walls, knock it into the water, and then they actually eat those insects.
As well as the archerfish, wallabies live below the escarpment.
And as we're travelling up through the gorge, we've seen a heap of little short-eared rock wallabies that jump around the sandstones. They're absolutely fantastic to see, so plenty of wildlife. And there's plenty of barramundi in these waterways as well, so it's just a fantastic place to keep coming back to whenever we get a chance. It's just absolutely beautiful along this waterway.
While the threat of crocs means swimming is out in the gorge, there is yet another waterhole, a series of hot springs that is safe and secluded. David and Jacinta sneak away to soak in here as much as they can.
Well, here we are at Zebedee Springs. Beautiful warm water, fantastic.
Surrounded by these beautiful Livingstonian palms that almost touch the sky as you look up towards it. Also surrounding that beautiful sandstone once again. Water temperature here would be at least 28 to 32 degrees, so it is absolutely beautiful. just like a day spa. Just a relaxed atmosphere. You're just out in the middle of nowhere. You can just be yourself. You don't have to worry about the hustle and bustle, and just gives you time to actually, chill out and have a great time. Forever not watching our clocks anymore, so it's just, the days just roll on. It's just absolutely fantastic. You're not looking at your watch and waiting for the day to end. The day can just stay as long as it wants. It's just absolutely great.
The vegetation of the Kimberley is both hardy and robust. For half the year, trees like these giant boabs survive on next to no rainfall. Then, in the wet season, they're drowned by up to 1,400 millimetres of rain. The boabs are the iconic symbol of the Kimberleys, found nowhere else in Australia. Some of these boabs are up to 1,500 years old.
What I've found out about these guys, as you can see how big they are, apparently they originated from Madagascar. So it goes back to that theory when the whole world was joined as one. And as you can see, really, really hollow, so hold a lot of water, these guys. And that grey bark on these guys is basically superficial. So underneath it, you can get, if you scrape a little bit off, you can see that green colour, you feel how moist that is. So it sort of tells you how much water this thing holds. So that grey bark's basically superficial, so it basically, being so sunny up here in the Kimberley for 8 months of the year, it acts as a protection, so it basically stops the water being evaporated out.
The large spherical fruit of the boabs hang like giant Christmas decorations. They're certainly in demand, so much so that collecting them becomes an amusing challenge for David and Jacinta.
Okay.
Aborigines have been known to collect and carve the boab nuts, but the fruit inside is also a delicacy, as our young travellers are about to try.
We'll try and crack it on that rock there and see what happens.
And you can eat this.
You can eat this. So grab a piece of that and just chew on the end of it. And just bite of the nut and try that, and you can really taste the vitamins in it. It's actually got a little bit of a zing, eh?
Tastes like dried apple.
A mix of boab nuts and champagne. A superb way to savour the sunset in this part of our Kimberley experience. When next we travel Oz, back to the Kimberley, exploring the desert set for the movie Australia and fishing the outback rivers. The two Tims take us to the remote outback settlement of Birdsville for the annual bush races. And the Barrington Tops of New South Wales, ancient forests, mustering cattle, kayak mishaps. And that is this episode of TravelOz. I'm Grainger.
And we're the two Tims. Happy travels!